The following podcast is sponsored by Synchrony. Ambition lives everywhere. At Synchrony, we believe yours isn't something you just look forward to. It's what you work forward to. That's why we partner with businesses to help provide the payment tools and technologies, promotional financing, and retail insights that help give customers the buying power they need. Every day at over 350,000 partner locations, we help people and businesses fulfill their unique ambitions. What are you working forward to? Learn more at synchronyfinancial.com. Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 134 of Total Retail Talks. In this episode, executive editor Joe Keenan sits down with Steve Wilder, CFO and CIO of City Furniture. Listen in as they discuss the use of mobile apps to improve the in-store shopping experience. All recorded live at this year's NRF Big Show in New York City. And now, on to the show.
Hi, I'm Joe Keenan of Total Retail. I'm here at the National Retail Federation Big Show in New York. I am joined by Steve Wilder, who is the CFO and CIO of City Furniture. We're going to be talking a little bit about City Furniture's business and kind of some new mobile apps that they've rolled out. So thanks for joining me today, Steve.
Thank you, Joe. I'm glad to be here.
So I think it'd be a good idea to first tell our audience a little bit about City Furniture, kind of your role at the company.
Sure. City Furniture is a 46-year-old retail furniture company in South Florida. We have business, we're also the Ashley licensee, so we have 12 Ashley showrooms as well as a balance of City Furniture showrooms, 28 altogether. Like I said, we've been in business since 1971. We actually started as a waterbed retailer. So as you can imagine, that was somewhat challenging and different back in the early days, and converted to full-line furniture in 1994. And I started as the company's auditor back in the late 70s and early 80s. I'm a CPA, and I became their chief financial officer. And about 5 years ago, the CEO, Keith Koenig, asked me to lend leadership to IT. And when I said, I don't think that I'm your guy because I'm not a technologist, he said, I don't want a technologist. I want a business mind. I want you to bring the strategic value of technology, the value that we're going to have as opposed to just a pure technologist.
Yeah. So as I mentioned when I introduced you, we talk a little bit about City Furniture just recently rolled out 3 mobile apps, correct, with the help of IBM. And specific to kind of the in-store experience these apps are designed for. So can you tell us a little bit about the reasons City Furniture, the challenges that your store associates were having in assisting shoppers prior to these apps being rolled out?
Sure. So as I mentioned that we came from, we started our relationship with IBM back in 1979, 1980. We developed all of our own systems because there was no off-the-shelf solutions for waterbeds. And so along the way, we've accumulated a great amount of technical debt. So our showrooms and our retail associates were operating in a green screen AS400 environment that is very cumbersome. It took associates a long time, up to 5 weeks, to learn the AS400 green screen system. And it's not user-friendly at all in terms of customer engagement. So some of our journey along the way, we also partnered with Gartner, who told us, listen, you can step into this digital world by engaging and creating these edge apps, I will call them, where you can take advantage of new technologies for your users, enhance that user experience, and through APIs and web services, you don't necessarily need to change your back-end core systems, because we want to do that over a period of time, but we want to do it in a risk-averse manner. But these apps that we've developed enable us to gain the benefits of this digital technology, mobile technology in our showroom, where we're no longer tethered to a fixed corral of sales desks with green screen terminals on them. And in most instances in the past, if a customer were to ask a sales associate any question, it could be about product availability, dimensions, delivery availability, the sales associate often would have to jot it down on a piece of paper, disengage from the customer, walk back to the desk area, and then hope to re-engage.
Yeah.
The mobile apps have enabled us to avoid that. So we avoid disengagement by empowering the sales associate with all of this information, all of the photographic and textual content that we have on our website, and we have a good website, cityfurniture.com, we know that 90+% of our customers actually start their journey online. So we're very much the robust model, research online, buy in store. And so this allowed us to have that continuation, that just to continue that shopping journey that they started online with the rich content and being able to assist them anywhere in the showroom remotely. So we can answer any question, we can transact in the showroom, so you can actually buy that sofa while you're sitting on that sofa.
Yeah.
And you can pay for it. We partner with Ingenico, so we have Bluetooth payment terminals connected to the iPads. You can apply for finance with our primary finance provider, Synchrony Finance. So a lot of empowerment and a lot of features and functionality came by way of these apps.
Yep. And I would imagine furniture being more of a highly considered purchase, the kind of the role and the value in having that store associate even ramps up even a little bit more, with a higher ticket price and a little bit more of a consultative purchase. Is that kind of been your experience?
Absolutely. So we've been able to measure the difference between green screen and the iPad, or particularly our app, which we call ASAP, Accelerating Sales Associates Performance. It's an extension of IBM's Sales Assist platform. We've been able to see in a period of time when we were in the early adoption stages where we gained a 13% lift in merchandise revenue because we offer, within the catalog, we have suggested and related ribbons running along the bottom. So it's more of that Amazon book selling technique. If you like this book, you might also be interested in these. And so we do that with our product. If you like this sofa, you might also be interested in this area rug, these cocktail tables. And so through that, we've seen a 13% lift when you compare green screen average ticket to ASAP. We've seen that. We've also seen a lift in services like in-home warranty services and stain protection, a 29 to 30% lift there, and we've controlled discounts on the floor. So instead of discounts being password protected, they're specific to a customer transaction, and we've seen a 58% decrease in discounts.
So you talked about these three different apps. Maybe can you just identify what each one, how they help the transactions, payment apps, app. What would be the other two that you mentioned?
So we have the base core app is ASAP.
Yep.
Which we started in Cupertino, and we developed that over a 13-month period. Rolled it out last year. That has everything from it has a customer profile, so we have clienteling. So as you walk through the showroom door, we quickly try to identify if you're a previous customer. If not, we start a profile for you. So in that profile section, we understand everything we know about you, your past history. So we have previous transaction histories right there at a touch. We also have an open to buy feature where if you have a City Furniture card, we can run a web service immediately back to Synchrony and get your current open available balance, which greatly helps in the shopping experience today. Because online, the private label finance transactions are generally about $2,100. They're about 50% higher than if you pay with other tender types. So ASAP, catalog, customer profiling, or the clienteling. We also have the wish list. So as you're making your journey, we can wish. And if you don't buy today, it's a rich marketing content that we can reach back out to you.
Email and
absolutely.
Such. Yeah.
And if something goes on sale, we can push that to you to promote it. And then finally, we have transacting ability. So we can actually create a card and close a card, schedule delivery, all those good things. So that's the first app. Second app is a payment app, where we partnered with Ingenico and IBM and Apple. And through Bluetooth connection, we have this RP750 Ingenico mobile payment device where it accepts 4 types of payment. Traditional mag stripe, the EMV chip rate, PIN debit, as well as NFC for Touch Pay, Apple Pay, Google Wallet, such. And that was critical for us because we got EMV compliance with it, where we had accepted a liability shift back in October 2015. And this was a solution that, rather than invest several $100,000s in that fixed terminal environment, we leapfrogged that and we went to this mobile solution, and we were really on the cutting edge with Ingenico with this product. And so payment is seamless for us, and you can pay for anything anywhere in the showroom. You're not tethered to a desk. But that's the second app. The third app is mobile finance. So about 40 to 45% of our revenue comes by way of our private label programs. So we have a waterfall approach where we have a primary provider in Synchrony.
Yep.
And then if you are declined there, it waterfalls down to Genesis. And then if you're declined there, it waterfalls down to Progressive Lease to Own. So we were able to maintain the integrity of that waterfall program, which is very powerful for us, in a mobile app. So it makes it very transparent to the customer. We actually hand the iPad to the customer because it's sensitive information. It's all masked, but as they complete the application, they can apply in a matter of minutes, and we get responses in sub-second time. One of the newest features that we've just added in the last few months is something called Synchrony Quick Screen. So as we build a customer's profile with just limited information, basically their name and their address, we are able to run a web service to Synchrony and get a response back. They bounce it against their pre-approval file, and they will come back and say, Joe, you've been pre-approved for a $5,500 City Furniture card. Would you like to accept it? And that bridges a very difficult conversation between the sales associate and the customer.
Yeah.
So it eases that, and it's been a tremendous lift for us. But all of these are enabled by way of this mobile technology.
Yeah.
It's a gateway for us.
Yeah, so you've talked a lot about kind of the internal benefits and what City Furniture is seeing. What's the customer feedback been like? When your customers come into the stores and they get the opportunity to engage the store associates that are able to bring these mobile solutions to the forefront without having to kind of, like you said, run back to a fixed terminal, and what's the feedback been like from your customers?
So far, they love it.
Yeah.
They, as you would imagine, it makes the experience so much richer, because you have everything. For example, if you're walking our 80,000 square foot showroom in Tamarack, Florida, it's difficult for you to imagine, or for you to remember, if you picked out 4 different sofas, let's say, in that 80,000 square foot journey, for you to remember what the first one was and everything about it is challenging. So you would be traversing back and forth. So you can imagine the transaction time involved in that. But now, being able to present all of those in your wish list and be able to visually and go back and compare product details to help you make a better informed decision as a customer, it's been very rewarding for the customer. Transaction time has been decreased dramatically. So in and out, everybody's time is precious.
Yeah.
So we've been able to achieve things like that. And for the sales associate, I mean, having transaction time cut as a commissioned sales associate empowers you to get to the next customer. You can serve multiple customers at a time. I mean, it's improved for both the sales associate and the customer.
Yeah, the sales associate, it's pretty intuitive, not much training involved with having to get them comfortable using the apps.
It is, and that was one of the primary goals too, as when we empower the sales associate with all this content, we also wanted to close the experiential gap between a brand new sales associate that's only 1 week, 2 weeks on the job with somebody that's a 20-year veteran. So it used to take weeks to train somebody on the green screen. Now it's intuitive. People pick it up very, very quickly. The majority of our sales associates are young college recruits. We have a strong internship program. So they use this technology in their personal lives every day. So it was an easy transition.
So if you were going to, you've already mentioned a couple impressive stats. What would, if you were going to target the 2 or 3 key business benefits that you've realized since you launched these mobile apps, what would they be?
Well,
average order value you spoke a little bit about.
Yeah, so our primary KPI that we measure the revenue side of the business on is what we call revenue per guest. So we have traffic count systems on all of our showrooms. So revenue per guest is really the product of 2 other KPIs, which is your closing ratio. How many transactions do you do per door swings multiplied by your average ticket? What is your total volume in your showroom for today divided by the number of transactions, and that's how you get that product. So we've been able to attack or address both of those. So closing rate, we've been able to improve closing rate, but the average ticket, as I mentioned, has increased.
And then my final question, Steve, is kind of going forward, what are some of the ways that City Furniture plans to use technology to continue to improve the customer experience? And that could be in-store, online, the mobile apps, any thoughts on, new things that you're going to be doing?
Sure. Well, we've gotten out to a great start with the 3 apps that we provided. We're going to continue to build out until we completely eliminate the green screens altogether. So we're converting that physical space from overhead to actual retail space where we can display product. But we went back with Apple and IBM in October of this year, and we had another workshop, and we're developing a mobile app called My Day that is more or less workflow based. And so we will, between the alignment of ASAP and My Day, we know when a sales associate is not engaged with a customer, and we are going to push them content in the form of task and prospecting opportunities. So a prospecting opportunity might be that Synchrony pre-approved offer that we made you, and maybe you suspended it. You said, I need to think about it. Well, before that expires, we're going to be pushing content to that sales associate to follow up with you, to make the phone call, and to try to get that card issued. Right. Likewise, if we know something is on sale this weekend, and we reach back into everybody's wish list that had that item on, preference, we can push that content to each of those sales associates to say, contact your potential customer because the item they liked is on sale. Also, we can.
So it's extending that too out of the store. They're not, they're able to engage with customers even when they're not in, in a City Furniture store.
And the same with tasks. So if a customer, if one of my customers, let's say, has a delivery today and there's a problem with it, there's a back order, that will get pushed to them immediately, the sales associate, and they have the opportunity to pick up the phone and speak to that customer and smooth things out. Yeah. So it's and we're going to continue to build out those types of apps. I think the iPad and the mobile technology has provided us with a palette on which we can paint a lot of different, good things. Yeah. So we're gonna continue to build upon it. We're doing training. We're using Exonify now to help with some of our training initiatives. It's their phone. Yep. We use Cisco Jabber clients, so it's their phone extension.
Yeah, it's a good example of how retail's evolved, and in order to keep pace and kind of offer the experience that today's customers are looking for, these sort of investments are being made. Great. Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Steve Wilder of City Furniture for joining me today here at NRF. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for listening. For more information on Total Retail Talks, be sure to visit our podcast channel page at www.mytotalretail.com/podcast for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Play, but please remember to subscribe to our podcast channel page as well. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.
This podcast has been brought to you by Synchrony, because ambitions live everywhere. At Synchrony, we have the payment tools and technologies, promotional financing, and retail insights to help reach yours. Learn more at synchronyfinancial.com.